Hello and welcome to our second programming tutorial in our C series. So if you didn't watch the first tutorial, just a quick recap, we downloaded the IDE code blocks and we executed our first program ever, which printed Hello World onto the screen. I left you guys with a little challenge to change the output to whatever you want, a random word, a random phrase, but change the output that got printed onto the screen. If you weren't able to figure it out, do not fear, we will go over it in this video. Additionally, we're going to go over what each line of this program does and how it contributes to printing something onto the screen. We're also going to learn how to comment our code so we can look back at things that we've learned and reference them while we're working on future projects. So let's hop to it. We're going to begin by deleting all of this nice code that code blocks has provided for us, and we're going to start from the top. So the objective of our program is to print something onto the screen. To do this, we want to use a function of printing, a function that's already been written for us. So we're going to tell the computer I want to include by pound sign include, all lowercase, the standard input-output library. And this stdio.h is the standard input-output library, and you're going to put that inside of these greater than and lesser than signs, which point away from the word. Anytime you want to get someone's input, print some output, read to a file, read a file, write to a file, this stdio or standard input output library should come immediately to mind. And as a rule of thumb, it doesn't hurt to include in almost all of your programs, and you'll probably end up including it. After that, I want you to type int, all lowercase, main, and then a pair of parentheses. So this is our main function. It's important to note that C is case sensitive, so everything needs to be lowercase. The computer, when it runs your program, looks at the main function for a starting point to read instructions, and it executes everything inside of your main function. And if it doesn't see main all lowercase, if it sees like M, capital A, I-N, it won't know where to start reading instructions, and you'll get an error. So very important, case sensitive. So after main, we're going to use these curly braces. Put a few spaces in between. These braces define the body of our main function. So the computer will execute cmain, start reading, and go line by line until it sees a return value. So at the very bottom of the function, I want you to return 0 with a semicolon. Don't worry too much about when to use the semicolon or why we're returning a 0. We'll get into it in later videos. Just realize that a return statement ends a function, and for our program, int main begins the function. So if you build and run this program right now, it's a working program. It doesn't do anything, so it's kind of boring, but it's a working program. We want our program to do something though. So we want to use a print function from the standard input-output library. So we're going to type in printf. This is the syntax for a basic print. Parentheses, and then a semicolon. A semicolon kind of signifies the end of that step. After they're done with that instruction, the semicolon tells the computer to stop reading that instruction and move on to the next one. I guess that's a good way to think about it for now. So this is the print function. The parentheses are the argument for the print. Whatever is in this argument will be printed onto the screen. So this is where your challenge comes in. All you would do to modify what is printed on the screen is put quotation marks and then say something. What do you want printed? I am printing something unique onto the screen. Perfect. I'm printing something unique onto the screen. Exclamation point. We're excited about our uniqueness. And then we'll build it and run it. And I am printing something unique onto the screen. Perfect. So we printed something unique onto the screen, but I do not like the way that it looks. It is output. The output is kind of ugly. There's no space here. It's all jumbled together. It's all gross. So let's put a new line in there. So we're going to do \n, build and run. Witchcraft. A new line, a space. Looks much nicer now. This \n is actually an escape character. So if you put / and then n, it tells the program, hey, we're inside of my quotation marks, but I want a new line. And it will give you a new line. There's also another neat little escape character to know for outputting just a simple phrase, and that is \t. Build it and run it. And that is the tab output. Now, this is a good way of formatting your output to make it readable to users, which goes a long way in the world of programming, especially if you're doing anything with a user interface attached to it. Alright, so we have gone through each line. We generally know what things do. We have changed our output. Now it is time to comment. Comments are something to get in the habit of early on in your programming life. It'll make your life so much easier. We've just used functions that we haven't learned before. We've used an escape character. First time we have ever done that. Let's take note of it so that we can use it later without forgetting it. So now we're going to do 2 /. And you'll see how it kind of gets grayed out. It gets a little bit lighter, changes color. Comments are not part of what is executed. So all of this include the int main function, the printf function, and the return are all executed by the program. Comments are invisible to the program's instructions. So this won't be executed when the program runs. So we can write anything we want and it won't affect the program. So let's put something useful in here for our first comment. Let's say printf prints a function and /n is an escape key. And you know, this might be a little bit overkill, but it is important to comment your code, and it really is a good habit to get into, especially as you start writing longer and longer programs. So we have accomplished everything we need to, and again, I'll leave you with something to try before the next tutorial. I would like you to output the numbers 1 through 10 vertically onto the screen. Again, this is simple. They'll get more challenging. You can probably do it very quickly, but nevertheless, 1 through 10 vertically onto the screen. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.